To begin today's mailbag, a super thanks from Scott. He says, thanks. Pollard hasn't been used that much in his time in the NFL. He deserves a 3-year, $13 million per year deal, 15.5 guaranteed. We won't hate that deal. I'm going to operate on this came in before the franchise tag deadline. If that is the deal that they get done next offseason, I think Pollard, frankly, wins that deal, despite that not being that much guaranteed money. But it's also why he was not anticipating that deal at the current moment. It was not a situation that the Cowboys were going to give him $15.5 million guaranteed, because he should be able to get $15.5 or at least $6 million guaranteed next offseason. That's been the big issue. From Mighty Ants, says, thanks. Still my RB trade. Now, this was in reference to the Michael Carter trade idea. Heavy Sports stole your idea, but all the same in the end. Appreciate that. Says, love the show. DC for L. Noti Gang. Thank you. Everyone be like Mighty Ant. Be subscribed. Have notifications turned on. And also make sure you have super thanks as an option. It is a new-ish feature here on YouTube. It allows you to donate outside of live videos. Simply click the thanks icon. Edit your message. You can send whatever things you want to say. You can take the thanks out, leave it in, whatever. We know it's a thanks either way. We appreciate your support here on the Cowboys Report. So any questions that come in via super thanks, any comments at all, we will give you guys a shout out. From Rashard Lee, can Dak win MVP? I think whatever team in the NFC gets the number 1 seed is going to have their quarterback be in the MVP conversation. That's probably going to be Dak or Jalen Hurts in all likelihood, but the number 1 seed in the NFC is going to have that possibility of winning the MVP. From Unitive, do the Cowboys have the best defense? Yeah, I could see, maybe it's 3rd, maybe it's 4th. I think they are among the better defenses in the NFL. Still might be able to lean a little bit towards even the Eagles or Niners defense there. But the Cowboys definitely have one of the best defenses, and it's definitely good enough to make some noise again. From Gold Fades, will Deuce get a lot of attention this season? I don't think so, frankly. I think we will pay attention to him in terms of what he's doing in training camp, but I don't think Deuce Vaughn as a 6th-round rookie, is the player that's going to have defensive coordinators up all night. From Turner Boys by Dak Prescott. What's up with the Trevor Lawrence top 10 quarterback hype? He's definitely not better than Dak. You guys know that I'm a big Dak fan. I would take Trevor Lawrence over Dak right now. I think that through 2 years, in a really bad situation in year 1, and what we saw last year, I think Lawrence is on his way to being in the top 5 quarterback conversation this time next year. And he's right up there in the same sentence as Burrow, Allen, etc. I might take him over Herbert right now. At least Lawrence has won a playoff game. I think there's a lot of great things he does. He's not quite a finished product yet, but he's still on the rise there. I don't have any issues if you want to say Dak's better from a experience perspective. That's fine. But if you're like, I think Lawrence is the guy, I get that. Becky and Chad, if Dak doesn't get us to the NFC Championship game this season, should his job be on the line next season? Depends on what they do with his contract. But again, it's how do you get there? Did you get there through you scored 28 points and your defense blew it? Okay, is that really his fault? Did the kicker miss a kick again to win the game? That happens sometimes. I don't think it's necessarily fair for almost anybody, any player or coach, to say this is the hard and fast guideline. We all want the NFC Championship game, though, to be clear. From Christopher Benjamin, does Kelvin Joseph have any trade value? Probably not. 2nd-round pick has done nothing overly positive outside of the occasional special teams play so far in his NFL career. I think he's fighting right now for his roster life. So what do you think ends up happening with Kelvin Joseph? What would you do with him? K for keep, C for cut. This is going to be today's pinned comment. So if the ad happens to come here on YouTube, it's fine. Take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. From Quantum, and then we'll get to Jamie Echoes and Clancy's super chats here. Because of our corner depth, and if Eric Scott turns out, I think we could let go of Trevon to develop this young guy. The issue there with your corner depth is, Gilmore is going to be a free agent. Your other depth is like Nashawn Wright, Jordan Lewis in the last year of his deal, and Kelvin Joseph, who are unproven. So if Scott emerges as a sixth-round pick, might be asking too much to have back-to-back DeRon Bland-esque years. Those are the only two guys under contract still. So you'd still need help. Frank, I think it's more likely that corner is just a big need overall next year than it is, you don't need Diggs anymore. $5 super chat from Jangley Echoes. I'm sorry, but Diggs and Lamb are more important to sign than Pollard. Can always draft an RB in 2024. I agree with that. Lamb and Diggs, or especially Lamb on offense, are more important than Pollard. It's why they're going to get more money than Pollard would potentially get. Paying Pollard does not preclude you, whether it's next offseason or another tag or whatever, does not preclude you from signing those guys. But if you had to choose, you're definitely picking those two guys first. From Clancy, looking back at the 2020 draft, knowing what we know now, would you have taken Justin Jefferson over CeeDee Lamb? Hell yeah, I would. Yes, I would take the best receiver in the NFL over the number 6 or 7, I don't know, somewhere in that range, wide receiver. That is a no-brainer for me. Now, if you're doing the redraft altogether with everyone having hindsight, both those guys are off the board, and you're not getting either of them. Maybe Diggs is there for you still in round 1 if you're lucky. So, yes, I would take Justin Jefferson, but I'm glad the Cowboys got Diggs. From Trenton, odds the Cowboys lead in takeaways again. Oof. Probably low. It is very tough to lead an NFL team in takeaways in back-to-back years, let alone 3 straight years. I think if you finish top 5, you're probably in a very good spot there. If you guys want to know all the latest on the Cowboys news, rumors, the training camp coverage, I cannot wait to finally have available to do and not just, be in the doldrums of June and July. Hit that sub button right now. YouTube.com/@CowboysTV. Free Cowboys videos every single day when you are subscribed. $5 super chat from Remy Gordon. I'm surprised you said Trevor is better than Dak, even though it's true. I love you, man, but you are biased when it comes to Dak. Remy and I don't agree on Prescott, and that is totally okay, because Remy and I are the same thing. We're just Cowboys fans. All we want is to make it to a damn NFC Championship game, and then beyond, ideally. We have different ways of how we feel about going about it, but Remy has never once been mean to me. I hope that I've never been mean to Remy either, and if I have been, I'm very sorry, my friend, but I appreciate your super chat. It is totally okay if we all disagree on things here. That's partially what makes sports fun from that perspective. Fortunately, Chris already did this one, so we all got to type in L in the comments section for producer Chris. Ramzino saying, we are 55 days away from Sunday Night Football. How excited are you? And do you think Barkley will really hold out? I am hyped. I want football to be back. Like I'm kind of counting down the days till preseason games get going from that perspective. I am very excited about that. As for Barkley holding out, I would be pretty damn shocked if that's what ends up happening from that perspective. From Kyle Heck, sign Leonard Fournette as RB2, Deuce Vaughn as RB3. In the event that nobody else emerges to be your RB2, I'm fine signing a veteran, but I want to get through training camp first and foremost. I would like to see the Cowboys set themselves up for a little bit more success overall and see what the young guys can do from that perspective. Now, we have Mozzie Smith rookie jerseys available for you guys. Chatsports.com/Mozzie. You can get the rookie, the fatty, up front for the Cowboys. Links in the comments section and the description of today's show. It's chatsports.com/Mozzie. Links in the comments and the description. Represent fatties only with a Mozzie Smith rookie jersey today. Again, chatsports.com/Mozzie. From Alexander Wright, should the Cowboys go all in and trade for Aaron Donald and Josh Jacobs? It's a fun idea. I would have more interest if somehow, some way, miraculously come trade deadline time, Aaron Donald's available, than I would at Josh Jacobs. The Cowboys last year had the largest cap hit being paid to a running back in NFL history, or in the NFL, at almost $20 million. Well, if they were to trade for Jacobs, they'd be paying way over that between Jacobs, Pollard, and somebody else in mind. So, Donald, I think it's unlikely, but sure, I could have some interest on that front there. I'm still not sure he actually ends up getting moved. So, name a player who you guys want to trade for. Keep it somewhat realistic. I would love Mahomes. I would love Joe Burrow. Those names are not going to happen. But a player who you guys want to trade for. Drop the player name or names if you are an overachiever in the comment section right now. Alexander Burton, what are your opinions on the DeAndre Hopkins signing? I think the market was not what he thought it was going to be. I think he wanted at least Odell Beckham money, did not get it. Clearly only 2 teams showed interest, Titans and Patriots. I think that is indicative of where his stock is in his NFL career. Chris B., will McCarthy call plays in the preseason to get back into the groove? I hope so. I would be a little bit concerned, frankly, even if it's the backups out there, if Mike didn't call the games, at least 2 of them. I think it'd be a good outcome, if you give Schottenheimer like the 3rd game and give Joe Witt the 3rd game on defense, that's fine. But I do want to have McCarthy calling plays, and I think it's just a good thing in the end. From last night, this is a quiet offseason for the Cowboys because Skip is off TV. I don't know. For the record, I hate Skip Bayless. I think he has put sports conversation back a decade by just screaming and appealing to the lowest common denominator. I'm not a fan of it. I don't mind him being off air. I hate that people treat his football opinions as credible. He's just saying outrageous things to say outrageous things. There's a lot better people I'd rather watch, especially on the YouTube side of things, even some on ESPN, than the screaming heads of Stephen A. and Skip Bayless. Would you say F the future picks and go all out starting with Aaron Donald? I still think a balance is necessary. It's funny. I think you've seen a couple teams in general that have gone with the ultra-aggressive path. You've seen the Eagles do it, just constantly paying players, pushing off money in the future. That's worked really well for them. You saw the Rams do it, and the Rams were like, okay, after a year, let's reset, let's rebuild, especially on defense. You saw the Saints constantly pay players and restructure deals and push money off into the future. And then I kind of thought the Rams and Saints should have flipped their mindsets. I think the Saints, after Derek Carr retired, should have rebuilt. I think that was their time. I would have gone another year or 2 with the Rams mindset. I certainly would not be mad if the Cowboys were aggressive and went all in, because here's my mindset. And even if it's not even full-fledged, F them picks, all of them, and just be a little bit more aggressive, 20%, just add another 2 players again, something along those lines at a cheaper rate maybe. The worst-case outcome here, I think, is that it doesn't work, right? You come up short, maybe make it to the championship game, whatever. You try for 3 or 4 years, and you're like, you know what? We got a bunch of bad contracts. And what you do then is you actually bottom out. You go all the way down. You draft a new young quarterback. You rebuild with him, and then you try the aggressive style again over that next 10-year frame. I think you're bottoming out downside is 2 years, as long as you get the quarterback pick, right? So you don't have to go full-fledged Aaron Donald breakout, or all out, but I would be a little bit more aggressive, frankly.